Millennials on the Move, and you guys are in for a treat this time. This is something that Millennials on the Move has never seen before. Typically, the people who come on this show, yes, they have businesses that have products and services of different calibers, but this has a lot to do with you and the inner you and how you respond to energy and spirit. So this is everything, right? So I just want you guys to be open-minded. Shauna Williams is our guest today, and I'm super excited for her to be here. So before we get into everything, what do you like to do? What is something you like to do?
I love music. So I love going to concerts. I love going to shows. Like ever since I was a little girl, I would be like front stage at concerts. So that's in me and what I love to do.
Right, cool.
So yeah, like 2017, I think I went to like 20 shows.
Oh my goodness.
Last year I went to like a few NACOs, traveled to Asheville, North Carolina to see NACO and Medicine for the People. This year I'm like already rostered up, so I love concerts.
Oh, cool. So is there anything that, like hobbies, like where did you grow up?
Yeah,
like tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hobbies, love dance. Love modern dance, ballet, hip hop, but modern is probably like my favorite form of dance. And so you can find me dancing like in a dance studio or creating dances in my home.
Right.
I grew up in Nashville, Tennessee.
So let's get into what you do. So I struggle with calling it, you know, a typical business, because I think this is like an overall life healing, life's work coach, consulting. Like this is what I think about when I think about what you do, because what you do is so important for the body and for the person. So you're the mystical minister and the mystical minister. So just once again, be open-minded and really understand and listen to what she's about to explain, because what she's doing, I mean, it's actually life-changing. So tell us a little bit about you being a mystical minister.
So I'm the mystical minister, and how it started was that in 2005 I got my first certifications in wellness and in fitness. And so I started in that realm. So it was all about the physical body.
Right.
And then fast forward, I started to do my own practices. Like I started studying and practicing religion as a little kid. But I really dove in when I was like 18, 19. I was introduced to meditation and Buddhism and all of that stuff. I mean, very, very young, jumped into it. And so that started to add on to me and my being and who I was. And then I started to offer that part to my clients. Cool. And then in 2010, I started working in mental health and substance abuse. And I worked in that field for 8 years. And so I learned a lot more about the mind and emotions and all of that. So there I had the physical, the spiritual, the mental, and emotional. And so putting all of those things together created the mystical minister. Cool. And so with the spiritual, I do different modalities, which energy healing, which is very mysticism type, and breath work and dance and movement therapy and different ceremonies and stuff like that. That's all substance free. You know, because we have everything that we need. I agree. Yeah. So yeah, that's the basis, and I have 2 programs that I focus on. So as the mystical minister, my whole thing is that I set women free from body shame through spiritual awakening. So my 12-week program is geared towards that, and then a Jumpstart program is my 6-week program where I'm with the woman one-on-one and we're working through everything. We're doing the energy healing. We're looking at the mindset, where did this root come from mentally and emotionally, and then bringing energy and spirit into everything to just burst that all out and to bring in the new or the remembrance of who she is. And so lots of lives are being changed through that. And so
I bet
my programs are geared towards women, but like I was so resistant to like, I want to help everybody. Like I want to be for everybody. But in my coaching, I had to really look at since 2005, who have I been working with who's been coming to me? And it's been women. Like for every 10 women, I may get like 1 man. So I really had to look at that, like, okay, spirit, okay, I see it and I get it. And I have all of these other services that are for men. And it's for everyone. So that's kind of like, that helped me to know that like I'm still here for everyone. And for this in particular, it really does call to women.
I think it's very important in business, in life, in whatever you're doing. You have to be clear on who your target audience is. Like she said, she wanted to reach everyone, but be smart about it. Who is buying your products? Who are the people that are constantly contacting you for help? You got to pay attention to those patterns, because that will basically make or break your business. If you're resistant to what you think should be happening versus what the people need, it's not going to be a success. So I think it's very important what you said, and actually allowing that to happen and saying, you know what, okay, cool, I only cater to women, and that's cool. So the bigger picture here is you're still changing lives.
Yeah, I want to speak into that. Like, that's absolutely true. And they always say the riches are in the niches. And like,
the riches are in the niches.
Us creators, we're like, no, we want to be for everyone and do everything. But I can truly tell you that since I've been able to just like focus on this, and with clarity comes power. With clarity comes power. Like, women have been coming to me.
Wow.
And so it's like, once like God and the universe knows that you're clear and you get it, then everybody else can. Yeah.
Right.
So I totally agree.
So I want to speak to the skepticism of everything, right? I can see myself being a part of a group like that. But what about those people who are like, there's no such thing as energy? Like, what do you mean energy? Those people who say, what are you even doing? Like, this, nothing makes sense. This can't be a business. Like, how do you combat that?
Yeah, I feel like I have so much to say in that regard. First and foremost, I was raised in Tennessee, Southern Baptist, like, church, Bible.
Just
praying. That is it. Only Jesus laid hands.
Right.
Like, that's it.
Right.
So I went through my own inner, like, coming to, I'll say, because it was like a battle of sorts, but really it was like a rebirthing and coming to. So I had to understand it first before I could stand in it and live it and it to be my profession.
Right.
And so my mom, she's like the best example. She is like the epitome of like a church going woman, and I love her and I respect her. Jesus is everything.
Right.
And Jesus is in the middle of everything, and it is because of Jesus that everything. Everything is everything. So everything has energy, and so if I am energy and everything around me is energy and it's affecting my energetic field, why wouldn't I want that to be the highest frequency possible?
Right.
And so, and the beautiful thing too about energy is like, it doesn't matter if we believe or not. So what I really say, yes, it still exists. So I would say to those people, come do a session. Like, come do a session, come try it. And with breath is life.
Right.
Without the breath, we do not have life. We can go without food for a certain amount of time. We can go without water for a certain amount of time. But we cannot go without the breath for like maybe like a few minutes, maybe like 30 minutes or something like that. Because there are people who are trained to hold their breath.
Exactly.
But like normal people walking around, after a couple minutes, like the brain stops to function. You know? So like, breath gives life.
Right.
So why not put time into building your life through building your breath? That's what I would say. I mean, it's here. It's here for us. Energy is here for us. The breath is here for us. So pull on to it.
Right. People who believe will pay for what they believe in. People will show up for what they think will work for them. So I hear a lot of people saying, well, what if this person doesn't like it? What if this group of people don't buy it? That's not your group, and that's okay. Women who have struggled with body shame and tearing themselves down, society tearing them, they need this, right? So they're going to seek programs and products and services that cater to that. So the people who don't have that issue, why waste their time? Why would they do that? That's not their thing. And everything is not for everybody. So what I would say, throughout everything, like, people are going to find a way to find a problem with what you're doing, or I guess take away from whatever you're doing, or try to make it seem like it's not helpful. Those people don't even matter, you know. And so it's really great to hear you say that even your mother, you know, who was probably the most against this,
what are you doing?
Exactly, was totally for that. And I'm sure for you that was very, very mind-boggling and just amazing to actually happen. But everything is not for everybody, and that's okay. It's perfectly okay. Find your audience, stick to that. I think fear and doubt is necessary. I think fear and doubt kind of fuels us to push ourselves and to be consistent and to work through that, because that is also healing as well. Working through your fear and being committed to what you think is worth the time and your efforts and your energy. So energy, see, I threw that in there.
That energy is everywhere. So on that too, when I stood in my truth and I was very clear on my calling and why I was here, like, everything up until this point led me to this, and it was very clear.
Mm-hmm.
That, like, I no longer had that, like, yeah, it'll come in because it's just a part of the human condition, that doubt and stuff, but I know who I am, and I know what I'm here to do, and so when I live from that power, I work from that power, and I stand in my truth, it truly does not matter. And then because I'm living in that energetic frequency of being in my true alignment, I call people to me.
Boom.
Yeah.
That's it. Wow, I kind of feel like I'm Oprah right now. I don't know why. Today, Oprah vibes, and you've written many books and changed many lives. You know what I'm saying? Like, she interviews really great people who are changing lives, and I feel like I'm talking to a real life changer. You know what I'm saying?
From that to the universe.
You know, so wow, this is great. So, anyways, so we talked about, you know, failures in a sense, but what do you think, and this is personal growth, what do you think is stopping you from reaching your highest point? You know, some people say procrastination, some people say self-doubt, some people say fear. So what do you think is stopping you, and how are you working towards that?
Yeah, I'm very clear on this because I am currently in this. I actually got some clarity this morning.
Right.
But it's being clear on my prices and what I charge people.
Yeah.
And so I actually got a money coach, I got a business coach, and all of that stuff, so I can get clear on it. So I set a price, and I was like, okay, people are paying it, but I was like, man, would I even pay that? Knowing what I know and what I bring, would I be okay paying that? You know, like, that's always my question. And so I was like, maybe, but I'm not 100% sure. And so I lowered my prices, I changed my prices, I changed my prices for my packages, for my individual sessions, and for my programming. And now it's a price that I'm like, okay. Because and I heard this the other day, so this is a quote, it's not my original, but there's charging what you're worth, there's knowing what you're worth, and then there's charging what you feel good about. And so, like, I was all about these two, but I did not feel good 100% about what I was charging. Because it was like, I've been coaching for 13 years, doing this for 13 years, not making money, just giving it away. Now I'm going to charge my worth, and it was like cutting people off, you know? And it doesn't mean to give the farm away. Do charge it, and maybe some people can't afford it, and people can say no, and I don't change or give discounts and stuff like that, but I'm clear on my prices, and I can stand it and say, well, I know that this is fair.
Let's speak to that. Pricing what we're worth is hard because we want people to be a part of what we're doing. You know, we want them to support us, and we also want to make money. Let's just be real. Like, at the end of the day, this is how I'm feeding myself. This is how I'm providing for myself. So being realistic about those prices, and it's hard. Even I have to do it, and I've been doing hair since I was 13. I didn't even get okay with telling someone how much something costs until maybe like 2 years later, 2 years ago. And I'm 28. So it's like, it's just very difficult, but I like the three things that you said. I never thought about the last thing. I always thought about charge what you're worth and know what you're worth, but I've never thought about feeling good about the price, because my thing is, this makes sense. This is how long I take to do this. I know this is gonna work, and I know she's gonna love it, and you know, so I worked on that, but I think that's very important. I'm gonna highlight that, so guys, please pay attention to that if you are in business. Just had another interview, and she said the exact same thing. The exact same thing. So I think this is something that is reoccurring, that's happening in business when it is your passion and it is your purpose. How do you price the purpose? How do you do that? Because you want to do it for free, but no. You gotta eat. So very important. I thank you so much for sharing that. So lastly, what do you feel is something that fuels you? Like, what keeps you motivated? What keeps you going? You know, what is it?
Every day I wake up inspired, and it's because I'm clear on my purpose. And I wake up and I go to sleep with God and Spirit, like, in me, and I'm working on that and my vision for my place in this world and what I'm bringing to this world. And when I show up in my gifts, in my power, in my truth, the healing that I can bring to masses and the healing that I'm able to be a vessel for my clients. So, like, knowing my vision, seeing it happen, and knowing that, like, this is it. Like, I am living in my lifetime alignment right now. Allows me to wake up every day just, like, motivated and going forward. And I'm so vision-driven. Yeah.
So, I know you have different sessions, different packages, and things like that. So, monetary-wise, how much do you think, and don't give me, like, a money price, but was it a lot of funding to start this, or you literally just was like, oh, I'm going to the park and I'm starting my first session? Like, how is funding when it comes to things like this? Because you need an intimate space. So how are you doing that with funding and things like that?
So all of my money has gone towards my education and my training. And so my space, I have a home office, and then sometimes I'll go and I'll do groups in other spaces. But so that's not really something that I have to worry about right now.
That's dope.
Yeah, so all of my money has gone towards my training, which I'm like constantly being certified.
So you use your home?
Yep.
See that?
Yeah.
Does not have to be very expensive to start a business. When you have a passion and a purpose, you figure it out. You can start at home, and she may get a studio one day.
I may.
You know?
You said, well, I may.
But I'm just saying, like, you have to just know what you're doing, what you're worth, and don't put it off. Because I ask that question because people always say, I need this to start this. No, you don't. Find a way to start and then build towards something else, you know? So I think it's very important that we hone in on that, because just because you don't have enough, or just because you don't have the space, that doesn't mean you can't utilize other places.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I just want all the entrepreneurs out there to know that when you find your purpose, she wakes up in her purpose. So there's no worry, there's no doubt, there's no fear. She's there, you know? So I think this in general is very important for all of us, because we need to find what our purpose is. And it's trial and error. I think it's one of those things that takes time, and it takes inner healing, and it takes asking yourself those hard questions.
The two things that I would like to kind of leave on, or like takeaways, is that one, when it comes to charging your worth, Oprah would not be able to do what she does and to give to the world as she does if she wasn't paid for it. The more that we receive, the more that we can give.
Boom.
So that is 100% number one.
Right.
Number two is knowing our purpose and living in our purpose, and not trying to live in someone else's purpose. And when we're living in our truth, that's where all of that divinity comes, and we're clear on our path, and we're able to build our business.
Right.
So those two things, remember those if you don't remember anything else.
Right.
Yeah.
So what projects do you have coming out now that you kind of want to let everybody in on? So what are you working on right now?
Okay, so you guys can go to mysticalminister.com. I have Foster the Light, which is my nonprofit project, which is taking spiritual healing and energy work into prisons, into foster care as well. And so that's important to me because my little brother was sentenced to life in prison for a murder he didn't do. And so, like, God put that on my heart more recently, that, like, this is something that I can do to change the entire system together. And then we were in foster care together here, and that's something that I can do to change that entire system as well. So Foster the Light is a nonprofit project that I'm working on.
Okay.
And then I have a book coming out that's the spiritual magic of a queer POC. That's inspirations and practices for the queer and people of color community. So yes, check that book out. It's to the editor now. It should be coming out within the next few months. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned. So thank you so much for being here and sharing your light. And I'm just so excited for people to see this. And guys, be open-minded. You know, like I feel like every time I do one of these interviews, you can take something life-changing away. So I'm doing this for y'all, okay? I feel like there are a lot of people out there who want to start businesses or start initiatives or nonprofits because you have a passion. Follow it. Monetize it. Charge your worth. Feel good about what you're charging too. But I'm just really excited for our generation, and I'm just very, very happy that I have the platform to do this. So thank you so much, Shauna.
Thank you.
And
thank you.
We'll see you next interview.
Hi, I'm Shauna Williams, the Mystical Minister, and if you would like to schedule a free consultation, you can reach me on my website at www.mysticalminister.com, and you can hit the free consultation button and also the contact me now. If you would like to find me on Instagram, it is @Shauna_Williams, and I look forward to hearing from you. So reach out to me and let's get started. Take care.